Alright, what is up, guys? Today, I am continuing to get some recovery mileage in. We are resting, recuperating, recovering from a hard week of training and also from whatever illness was thrust upon me by the tiny humans. So, it's kind of a bummer. But we're getting our miles in. You know what I like to say? Actually, I've never said this before, but some miles is better than no miles. I've never said that before until now, but that's what I believe. So we're going to get some miles in the New Balance Fresh Foam X Balos V1 this morning. This guy's dropping soon. I think it comes out August 14th. One of the most comfortable shoes that I own. I took this to my trip out to California a few weeks ago, and I don't normally use my running shoes for travel and walking, but this was so comfortable that I started just using it walking around town, traveling back from San Luis Obispo to Charlotte, and I had it on my foot for probably 10 hours. So this is a video I've been wanting to make for a while now. You guys have been hearing me talk about Cozy Boy Summer, and we finally hit 3,000 miles on the year. And when I did that, I knew I wanted to put together a list of the 10 coziest, comfiest, split pea soup, chai tea with honey, some warm ramen type shoes, right? These are like chicken noodle soup for your feet. So what better time to put together a list of my 10 favorite comfortable shoes, a little bit of a ranking video, this is going to be a fun one, than when I'm trying to rest and recuperate and feel cozy and comfy myself. So a little recovery run this morning, and then we can come back and talk through my 10 favorite comfy shoes. All right, I'm going to get these miles in, then we can get into it. All right, boom, another day, another 6 piece of miles, nice recovery run, 6.06 miles, 51 minutes, 27 seconds, average at exactly 8:30 pace in the New Balance Balos V1. And I'm glad I chose this shoe for this recovery run because it's the perfect shoe, man. This thing is comfortable, smooth, just the right amount of soft with a nice little bounce. This is a top 10. This is a top 10 most comfortable shoe for sure. Little chicken noodle soup for the runner's foot right here. Let's go. All right, well, I'm going to shower, pop back out here with the 10 most comfortable shoes in some boxes, and then we can bang down to the street and get this ranking in. What do you think? Should we get into it? We haven't even dropped the beat yet. Guys, here we go. We have the 10 most comfortable running shoes in these 2 boxes. So, gosh, well, these are a lot of shoes and they're falling. So most of these shoes are max cushioned shoes. You guys know I'm part of the max cushion gang. I love a lot of cushion. I love a lot of comfort in my everyday running shoes. So that's my frame for this video. I just looked at my whole collection of shoes and went for the 10 most comfortable, regardless of price, regardless of brand, regardless of anything. These are just the 10 shoes that I would most like to have on my feet for either running or walking. So some of these are going to be walking, some of these are going to be running, and of course this is a subjective list, meaning it's based on my personal experience. There is no criteria, there are no spreadsheets, there is no point system. I just randomly said this is 3 because it feels like 3, and this other one is going to be 4 because it feels slightly less comfortable subjectively to me. There's no data involved in here whatsoever. So we are going to do the 10 most comfortable shoes. Before we get into it, man, there's one thing I wanted to tell you. There's 2 things I want to tell you. First, people ask me all the time, how do you run 100 miles a week without getting sick or injured? I am sick right now. But you know what I'm not going to do this week? I am not going to run 100 miles a week because that would be completely foolish. And then I'd be at risk of getting even sicker. Well, that one would take me out next. So I'm going to run probably, 50, 60 miles a week. Just put up some 4 to 6 to 8 mile recovery runs until we feel better. And then probably hit the long run this weekend. And then we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program next week. But what I am going to do this week is hydrate and get my electrolytes. So here we go. There's something so satisfying about, just look at this. Oh, look at that. Just dropping a Nuun. Oh, that's a nice little grandma Beamer rolling by. Just dropping a Nuun into the 32 ouncer. So satisfying. Talk about cozy boy summer. Look at this. Woo! Alright, so we're going to hydrate today. Get your electrolytes. This is what I want to say. This is all just a little plug to tell you guys, please buy your stuff through my Running Warehouse link. By the way, big announcement, we are now international. I signed the contract for Europe and Australia. Yeah, Mini Cooper. Their taillights are literally the British flag. So if you live in the Commonwealth, I'm not talking about Massachusetts, that's where I was born and raised. If you live in the original Commonwealth, the one that prompted the Boston Tea Party, not the one that was the location of the Boston Tea Party. All my blokes out there, all my lads, all my mates down under, I got you now. You can support the channel through Running Warehouse. So starting today, I'll put those Running Warehouse EU and AU links below. And this was the last thing I had to say, man. Charlie came up in the kitchen yesterday, waving this around in my face. You know what this is? Wayfair Fall 2024. Do I look like I have Wayfair Fall 2024 money right now? No, Charlie's coming up in the kitchen waving the... So if you want me to be in a happy marriage, please buy your shoes through my Running Warehouse link so we can get some Wayfair Fall 2024 up in here. Happy spouse, happy house. Okay, let's get into it. Number 10. Man, this is the longest intro of all time, right? But we had to do it to him after the 16-minute video yesterday. But I said number 10. We're actually doing honorable mention. So the first honorable mention shoe here is the New Balance Rebel V4. And we already have some ants on the shoe. But the reason I wanted to pull this shoe is because a couple people were asking me, isn't the Rebel the most comfortable shoe out there? I saw another video saying the Rebel is the most comfortable shoe out there. And it is a very comfortable shoe, but compared to all of the other shoes on this list, the true max cushion shoes, this is not going to provide the most comfort, the most cushion, the most support. But as I mentioned, all the other shoes on this list are max cushion. So if you do not like the feeling of a lot of cushion, but you still want a nice soft feel, a nice shoe that's easy to walk in, easy to run in, this has a beautiful rocker, this would be my pick. So if you do not want that max cushion feel, but you want some of the elements of modern technology, I would go with the Rebel V4. It's a lightweight. It's one of those shoes that's everything you need, nothing you don't. There's not a lot of padding on the upper. It's pretty streamlined. It's actually one of the lightest weight shoes I have out here, but you still get a decent amount of cushion. It's about 30 millimeters out in the heel. So if you're used to shoes from 2018 and before, from the 2010s, if you have an old Asics Cumulus or an old Asics GT and you're looking to upgrade and you don't want one of these max stack behemoths, this would be a nice pick. I did do a 100-mile week exclusively in the Rebel V4, and it was comfortable for that. Is it going to be as comfortable as the shoes ranked 10 to 1 on this list? No, that's why it's not making the list, but a very comfortable shoe, especially if you don't want something for pounding high mileage, but you just want a nice lightweight shoe that's going to be comfortable for hitting the gym, doing errands, whatever else you might get into. What other shenanigans do you get into with running shoes?
go on a Crate and Barrel to drop some racks on whatever you can't get in the Wayfair Fall 2024 category. All right, next honorable mention shoe. Again, most of these shoes on this list are going to be max cushion training shoes. I did want to give a shout out to a race shoe here. This is the Hoka Cielo X1. This is the most comfortable racing shoe that I have. You get a ton of cushion, a ton of foams. Man, still got a little bit of that phlegm, you know, that phlegm. But I was gonna say, oh gosh, my electrolytes are dropping. We're just off to a little bit of a rocky start here. Saucony Endorphin Pro 4 is also a comfortable shoe. The reason I wanted to pull this one, you get a little bit more cushion than the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4 or any other race shoe out there because of the way Hoka's designed this to give you more stack in the midfoot and the forefoot while still navigating the rules for elite athletes. I'd say you have to have less than 40 in the back here. But one thing I was thinking about actually, are there any elite marathoners who regularly place top 10 who are Hoka athletes? I don't think there are, right? US, it's all it's Asics, Nike with Clayton and Connor. And I know we have on the women's side, Helen Obiri. We have a lot of Adidas athletes. I don't think there are any Hoka athletes who are regularly placing. Let me know if I'm missing somebody, but I don't think many people are even choosing the shoe, the pros. And if they are elite sponsored by Hoka, they're probably going for the Rocket X2. Anyway, I digress. If you are a hobby jogger like I am, it doesn't matter what type of a stack height you have in your shoe because we're not going to be breaking any records, right? We're going to be breaking our own records so we can wear whatever we want. This is a very comfortable shoe. It is race legal because of the trickeration they did here. The upper is great. There's no rubbing. It's decently wide. And man, this rocker is beautiful. So most comfortable race shoe of 2024 that I have tried so far, Hoka Cielo X1. All right, now let us get into number 10. I did but I don't know if I'm gonna drop the beats or not. That might be a lot of work editing. So I'm just gonna fire up my phone here. All right, 10. All right, number 10 here, another Hoka. We have the Hoka Skyward X. So why is this number 10? Well, it is a carbon fiber plated training shoe with two types of foams. You get a ton of cushion. If you look at the Cielo X1 and this, you almost get as much cushion in the Cielo X1 as the Skyward X. The Skyward X, you do have a little bit more cushion and you have a different type of foam in here, a supercritical ethylene vinyl acetate, more of a training foam mixed with the racing foam. So the reason it's at the bottom of the list is because it has that carbon fiber plate. It's not going to be as comfortable as some of the other shoes. It is designed more for fast running and a little bit more aggressive because of the plate than some of the other shoes. But if you are looking for that fast training shoe with the most comfort, that would be this shoe. You get a nice padded tongue. The stack in here is amazing. It's the most protective shoe that I've tried. It's one of the most protective shoes that I've tried. It's fun, it's bouncy, it's the right amount of soft. It's not too soft, and it has enough structure so that if you're a bigger runner like I am, I'm 6'2", 160. If you're taller or are carrying more weight, this shoe is not gonna bottom out compared to shoes like Saucony Endorphin, Speed 4, even New Balance SC Trainer V2. I've had some runners tell me that shoe was a little bit too soft for them. I think they fixed it in the V3, but this guy is just supportive, protective, fast, fun, bouncy. One of my favorite shoes of all time. If you're looking for the utmost in comfort blended with some fun and speed, that is gonna be the Hoka Skyward X. It is a little bit steep, $225. It hurts just saying that, but for me, it's been pretty durable so far. We have 100-something miles on this. Rubber's still in good shape. It's still as bouncy as it was when we first took it out of the box. So I highly recommend this if you want a fun shoe that's gonna be comfortable as well. So that's number 10. Number 9. Hold on, before we get to engine number 9, we need to chug some number noon. I don't want to plan on that one. All right, number 9, Asics Nova Blast 4. Now, similar to the Hoka Skyward X, this shoe is not gonna suffocate your foot in soft cushion. It's not the softest shoe out there. It's not the squishiest shoe out there. It's not the bounciest shoe out there. It's not even the most padded upper out there. However, it is very cushioned, and for $140, we're now swinging to the other side of the affordability or price spectrum. Number 10 was $225. This is $140. For 140, you get the most stack out there. This is almost a max cushion cruiser. This is definitely max cushion gang, but it's not the softest, meaning again, for bigger runners, you're not gonna bottom this out. This is a very comfortable daily trainer, and it's a little bit on the firmer side. So if you're looking for something that's that workhorse style shoe, you can put a ton of miles on it, not super soft, not super bouncy, but one of those shoes where once you get going, once you hit an hour, 90 minutes, 2 hours, it's gonna be dialed in. That's the Nova Blast 4. One of the most comfortable shoes out there, if not the most comfortable $140 shoe. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, most comfortable $140 shoe. All the other shoes that I pulled out here are $150, $160 or above. So if you're looking for that $140 daily trainer, if you're looking for that marathon training shoe that's just gonna be simple, get the job done, that's the Nova Blast 4 coming in at number 9. All the other shoes are a little bit softer than this that we're gonna start hitting at 8 to 1. But if you want that nice blend of support and stability with a tiny touch of softness, not too soft, that's gonna be the ASICS Nova Blast 4. All right. Oh, one thing I should mention on the shoe though. Oh, we got a FedEx. I think he's coming for us. He stopped right here. Let's see. Well, I mean, he literally stopped in front of my driveway. So.
I can just sit on the porch if you got something you're doing.
It's okay. I can take. Supwell Running from Memphis, Tennessee. FedEx priority overnight. And they have a men's and a women's. Charlie's gonna be in. This is the thing. I just keep giving Charlie more shoes and more shoes. She's like, I don't want shoes. I want something from the Wayfair 2024 fall catalog. That's a deep cut. If you know who's sending their shoes out of the Memphis, Tennessee warehouse, you might know what's in that box. So the last thing I wanted to say about the Nova Blast 4 is the grip on here is not good. So if you are out in the UK and it rains a lot, or if you live in the PAC NW, Pacific Northwest, and you need a shoe with good grip, this is probably not going to be it. I would look to one of the other shoes on this list. Even the Hokas have better grip than these. The New Balance have better grip than these. So that is the one downside of the shoe. Grip is not good, but the upper is very comfortable. The fit is comfortable. The foam is comfortable. It's just, man, the grip is not good. And the thing is though, this outsole is basically indestructible. I have over 100 miles on it, and the outsole looks brand new. So it will go forever, but that means you'll just be slipping forever. Number 8. You saw that? Kobe. Number 8, because Kobe's number 8. Adidas Supernova Prima. This is a newer one to have come into the rotation here, and it's taken the slot of, for me, something like the Saucony Triumph 20, or even the ASICS Nova Blast 4. But the thing is, this has a little bit more pep to it. I think it's a touch heavier than the Nova Blast, but it doesn't feel as sluggish. I feel like I can turn over my legs a little bit more. Man, all the Beamers are out today. The foam has got a nice bounce to it. It's just completely normal. Every time I put this shoe on, every time I look at it, and I might have to do with this beautiful gray colorway we have here, but it is a completely normal shoe. It takes a lot of the elements of max cushion and just smooths them out. It's not too tall, it's not too short. The upper isn't too padded. It's still breathable. The tongue is, it's just right down the center of the plate, completely normal shoe. So if you're looking for a sneaker for Disney World, for walking, for errands, and you don't want to take a risk on anything, get this shoe. It's also from a brand, Adidas. What do you think of when you hear Adidas? You think of sports. You think of, that's a good brand for a running shoe, right? It's a completely normal shoe from a normal running brand. It's gonna get the job done. And if you are back and forth with the Beamer. Back and forth with the Beamer. Man, the Beamer got its booty in my shot still, but it's gonna get the job done, right? And if you're looking for that nice impact absorption from a shoe that can still get up and go a little bit, Supernova Prima is a great choice. Now, it is $20 more expensive than the Nova Blast 4, but you're getting a lot more versatility out of the shoe. This foam is a touch softer. It's also a touch bouncier. I did some strides in it, and it wasn't great for dipping down to that 5-minute pace range, but better than the Nova Blast, and I would have no issue running marathon pace in this shoe occasionally, and it's much better for walking than the Nova Blast. I do not like walking in the Nova Blast at all. Now, downsides of the shoe, the tongue is comfortable, but the first time I ran in the shoe, I had a little bit of an issue getting my foot in it because of how tight they made this situation up here. It's the G word. I'm not going to say the G word, but the tongue is strapped down on the side. So it was a little bit tricky getting on. The other weird thing is they didn't put rubber on the back here. There is a really thick layer of this foam. It's called ethylene vinyl acetate. It's a ground contact EVA, which tends to be pretty durable. You can see though, after only a few runs in the shoe, I've started to wear down on the foam pretty good in the back here, but this grip is solid where they did put the rubber. You're not gonna have any issues in any Adidas shoe with the slipping. Adidas has one of the best rubber games out there, Continental or not. Continental's their top tier rubber. And also their shoes tend to be pretty durable. I think if we had to do a durability ranking for shoes, Adidas might be at the top of the list, and then maybe Asics one step below, and then maybe Nike under that. I'm not sure, but Adidas is 100% at the top of the durability ranking. So $160, but a really well-made shoe, well-constructed. It feels, with the materials and putting on, it feels worth the price to me. And I would tell you, if it did not, the Ultra Boost, I was going to use the P word. I was ticked off. I was ticked off when I learned the Ultra Boost was 180. I ran in that shoe and it's comfortable, and it's actually, I think, one of Charlie's favorite daily trainers now because it's just a great foam. It gets the job done. 10 millimeter drop is a little high, but $180 for a not special shoe with just because it has Boost in it, that's not a good deal. At 160, you're going to get a lot of good miles out of the shoe. Very versatile. You can use it forever. Would be a great travel shoe as well. And it's only number 8 on this list. Can you believe that? There's a lot of comfortable shoes out there. Also, it's a newer one to come into the rotation, so maybe if we do another one of these roundups at the end of the year, it would slide up, but I've been impressed with it so far. Number 8, Supernova Prima. All right, guys, number 7, Siete, from one of my favorite running shoe brands, near and dear to my heart, out of Switzerland. We have the On Cloud Eclipse. Now this thing is a max cushioned shoe that uses this technology in the midsole here called CloudTec Phase. So the difference between this and some of On's older shoes is that they've changed the pod layout to be slanted here. So now you have all these slanted, like collapsing dominoes things. It creates this effect where if you take a look at me pressing in this foam, it's soft, but it's not the softest foam, even if you compare it to the Cielo X1, this race foam here, which race foams tend to be, some of them tend to be firmer. You could see that this Piba and the Cielo X1 is a little bit softer than what we're getting in the Cloud Eclipse, which is a max cushion training shoe. So this thing, it's not the softest foam, but the way that they've laid out the pods make it feel very soft underfoot when you're walking. So I took the shoe down to Savannah a few months ago for a business trip, and I used it for my walking shoe, for my casual shoe. My boss is actually a wear tester for Hoka, so super random. So she was rocking the Bondi 9s, but she said, yo, you pulling up with the platform Ons? Out here like you're 6'5". And yeah, I am basically 6'5" when I have this shoe on because it's so tall. But for walking, this is a great shoe. You get a nice smooth roll. You do get that impact absorption and that protection that I love talking about so much. For running, it's okay. It reminds me a little bit of the SC Trainer V2 where you get that nice squish and release from the pods, and you have a pseudo plate on the bottom here, this plastic piece that's holding it together. The grip is okay, but I did a 20-mile long run in this, and it felt like it didn't quite stand up to the time on feet as well as I would have liked. But the upper is comfortable, the foam is comfortable for walking. I would slot this in more as a max cushion daily trainer and a walking shoe. I wouldn't recommend it to be that high mileage marathon training shoe. I would go for the Prima or the Nova Blast or some of the other shoes on this list for that. But if you are looking for a shoe from On, if you want something a little bit different than the New Balances and Hokas of the world, I would go for this shoe. Very comfortable shoe. Definitely my favorite On for walking. This is what I laced up after running in the Cloud Boom Strike. This is what I laced up to take my kids to the splash pad and hang out for the rest of the day. So nice, comfortable recovery shoe, nice, comfortable daily trainer, nice, comfortable walking shoe. It is a little bit steep at 180, but this has been on sale recently for 130 and below. I'll actually see if I can dig up a sale link. If not, I will put my Running Warehouse link. But regardless, great shoe, great casual shoe. And it's a little bit of swag too. All right, we got Waste Pro coming, putting in the work down there. But let's head to number 6. All right, guys, number 6. Number 6, none other than little Retro LeBron. He was number 6, remember that? Was it on the Heat where he was number 6? It's a busy thoroughfare today, but I like it. That means the economy is strong and booming. In Mint Hill, the people are out, going to work, putting in the work, getting business. We got small businesses out here. Let's go. But number 6, Nike Invincible 3, man. This is another soft, cushioned, max stack shoe. It uses Nike's ZoomX foam. There's some debate, rumor, speculation, not random, might I add, it's not random speculation, that this might not be the same version of ZoomX that you see in the race shoe, but regardless, it has the same character, which is very soft, very bouncy, and very squishy. So this is a shoe that I've really enjoyed since Step In. I've used it for running, I've used it for walking. I only have probably about 30 to 40 miles on it total, but all of those miles have been very comfortable, and it's one of those shoes that just caresses. It just caresses my heel. Now, if I'm feeling super banged up and I want to grab for one of the softest shoes in my collection, it's either going to be this or it's going to be one of the other top 5 shoes that we list down here. Now, downside of this shoe and some of the other shoes is that it is very soft. It is a very soft shoe, and it has the classic Nike 10mm drop. So what does that mean? There's a difference in 10mm between the back and the front of the shoe, which means you get a little bit more ground feel up here. You get a little bit more of that ground contact, that connection in the front than in some of the other Max Stack shoes. It doesn't have the most I can't complain because it's Waste Pro. They are caring for our communities, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. All right, hydration break. So yeah, 10mm drop, it can put you up on your toes a little bit. It creates this more aggressive profile. It also means, just by virtue of the back being 10mm higher than the front, you don't get as much cushion in the front as you could have if it were a 4 or 6mm drop. So that's something to be mindful of. If you don't like that higher drop profile, this is not going to be for you. If you want a lot of cushion in the front of the shoe, this is also not going to be for you. But if you want a soft, bouncy ride, this is a good choice. There's one other shoe I'm going to mention that has as much or more bounce than this, but it's rare to find that combination where it's very soft and also very bouncy. So this has more of that get up and go character. I threw down some 450 pace strides in this. I could throw down a marathon pace workout in this. I'd be happy taking this as my daily trainer for days where I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. Similar to the Rebel, yes, it's soft, but it can also go fast. So that's, oh, Cielo X1. So that's why this makes the list. Comfortable, fast, soft. You can also find it on sale at some places. I don't know if I'm going to dig up the link or not. I might just put the Running Warehouse link because it's already going to be a lot of work. But you can Google it. I think Dick's usually has this for sale at 130 or below. I'll try to dig up the link. Okay, I'll dig up the link. So yeah, good deal. At 180 at the MSRP, it's a little bit steep. I'd probably go for one of the other shoes, but if you can find this on a deal, great shoe. Also an awesome walking shoe. They have tons of different colorways of this. So if you're looking for something from Nike and you want the utmost in comfort, I would go for the Invincible 3. All right, top five. I think I just won a Grammy. right, guys, coming in at number 5. I didn't even plan this. 5 and 5. It's the New Balance More V5. This is our number 5. I didn't plan it. I didn't purposely say the shoe is V5, so I'm gonna put it at 5. That's just how the shoes shook out. That's just how the midsoles matriculated. That was pretty good, huh? You like that? But New Balance More V5 Max Cushion Gang. If there's one shoe, drop a bomb on the Max Cushion Gang. Yeah, so if there's one shoe that represents what Max Cushion is in 2024, this is him. New Balance More V5, you get an absolutely repulsive stack. It is a disgustingly tall bed. It is a ferociously thick layer of fresh foam here. It's Fleet Feet measured it to be 44 in the back, which is just super tall. You also get this wrapping. You're not sitting on top of all the foam. Your foot probably sits right here, but Max Cushion, right? It's not just underneath, it wraps your foot up. It creates this cradle where your foot is inside. It's being wrapped inside all of this foam. So it looks a little funky. It looks kind of cool. It is very soft and squishy. If you want the ultimate soft and squishy, you want the ultimate in protection and comfort, that's the More V5 at number 5. The reason why it's number 5 and not number 1 is because it's just a lot. It's a lot of foam to have underfoot. I did have some really good runs in this. I was throwing down some 630 pace in it. It is decently versatile for what it is, but it's on the heavier side. It just feels like a lot of shoe on foot. Not everybody wants that. I don't want that all the time. And it's not the lightest weight shoe. So it's number 5, very comfortable if you just want that, man, pillowy shoe. Charlie absolutely loves this thing. She says running in it though is like, because you're just running on top of this super tall stack of mush, right? And it does have a little bit of bounce, and you do get a nice rocker up here. That is one of the improvements they made on the last generation of fresh foam shoes. Adding this rocker, it's beautiful. But if you're a bigger runner or tend to bottom out foams, this wouldn't be my pick for daily trainer or long miles, because it is very soft and squishy under here. I mean, just look at this thing. It is a super soft shoe. So More V5 coming in at number 5, $155. I like that it's $5 cheaper than a lot of the other shoes coming in at $160. If you want the ultimate in stack, cushion, and comfort, bang. Oh, one downside, toe box can be a little bit narrow. Some people have said they had to go up half a size. Charlie also got some blisters in her normal size, so keep that in mind. You're either gonna have to go up half a size or get the wide width. All right, number 4, Adam Vinatieri. All right, number 4, we are coming with one from last year. This released in 2023, but it is so comfortable that I had to make my list. This is the Brooks Max. Brooks Max. I don't know why, but I feel like I have to say it like that. Brooks Max. It's like if you take away all the consonants, it sounds even more comfortable, right? Brooks Max. That's this shoe. There's nothing harsh about it. There is no consonants. There's no consonants in this shoe. It is just straight alliteration. It is awesomely adaptable. It is an elevated experience. I'm gonna throw a little sibilant. It's super smooth, right? That's what this shoe is about, man. It's smooth, it's comfortable. The ride is not harsh or aggressive. There's absolutely no bounce to it. There's no energy return, so do not be expecting this to be like the Nike Invincible 3 or the Rebel V4. If you want a Max Cushion shoe or a comfort-oriented shoe with bounce, with the ability to run fast, get the Rebel, get the More, get the Skyward X. Even the Cloud Eclipse has a little bit more bounce. This thing is like running on top of pudding. There's pretty much no get up and go, but the impact absorption is an 11 out of 10. This is the best shoe still out of all the 50, 60 plus shoes I've tried this year in 2024. That's why I'm making this list. This is still the best shoe for spending time on feet. It's still the best shoe that I've found for walking long days if you're a doctor, a nurse, a host, a hostess. I really need to look up more jobs where you walk a lot, because every time I try to rattle them off and then It's like doctors and restaurant workers, hospitals and hospitality. That's all I know for walking. But whatever your job is, right? If you are spending a lot of time on feet, maybe you're a videographer. That's another job. A barista, no, it's still hospitality. If you're going to be spending a lot of time on feet, get the Brooks Ghost Max. Bruscos Max. I can't even say Brooks Ghost Max. That's why they don't want you. They want you to say Bruscos Max. And it's $120. So there's nothing harsh about the dollars this is going to be taken from your wallet because it's on sale. The Brooks Ghost Max 2 came out recently. I like it better for running. It's a little bit faster. It has more of that get up and go. But they've firmed up the midsole a touch, and it's not as great for spending time on feet. So if you want the most comfortable shoe for walking and time on feet, $120 right now. Brooks Ghost Max V1, baby, the OG. Man, it smells a little like trash now because Waste Pro is coming, putting in that work. But number 3, we got the Balos, the shoe that we ran in this morning. I initially had this a little bit lower down the list, but after this run this morning, I was just reminded of what makes this shoe so good. Like the Rebel, like the Invincible, like the Skyward X, it's soft, but it's bouncy. And it's not a Super Blast competitor, so it's $200, but it's nothing like the Asics Super Blast. I know with the pricing and with the fact that they said this has the race foam blended in, the PIBA, the polyether black amide blended into the midsole, we might think it's a Super Blast competitor. It is not. It's more like the 1080 or the More with a little bit more of a streamlined feel and more balance. It's a soft daily trainer that can also go fast when you want it to. It's one of the best daily trainers of 2024. It's definitely going to make my list at the end of the year. It's just pricey at $200. But for me, this has been one of the most enjoyable shoes to come into the rotation recently. I haven't run in it a ton since I first got it. I think I put 50 or 60 miles in the first few weeks, and then I've been testing other things. But man, every time I come back to this, whether it's for a Saturday morning ASMR session or a 6-mile sickness recovery run like today, or trudging through from San Luis Obispo through the Denver airport, just eating some Shake Shack, trying to survive, getting back to Charlotte, it feels great. I had 2 back-to-back days putting up 10 hours in this. Traveling, walking, when I was in California, and then just everything I've done in it has been great. So number 3 here, the top 2 shoes are absolute bangers. That's why it's not number 1. And also I think if this weren't $200, maybe it would be up here. I don't know. No, it's not even about the price. It's just there's some other shoes that are a little bit more comfortable than this guy. Also, it is very soft. Another shoe that is very soft. So if you do not like soft, you have to go for one of the other shoes on this list. Prima, Nova Blast, I'm looking for them. Even number 2 that we're about to highlight has a little bit more structure to it. This can feel a little bit squishy and squirrely. If you need some stability, this is not going to be the pick for you. The next one will be the pick for you. But man, if you want the ultimate in comfort, if you are a fan of the 1080 and you want to spend $200, you will be a fan of this guy. I mean, look at the rocker too. It's just so easy to run in. And this firmer foam that they put, so this orange here is a ground contact ethylene vinyl acetate. It's a ground contact EVA. It grips really well, and it also just creates this really nice landing feel. My friend, who was it that told me this? Brandon? No, Brian. It was Brian. Brian B. No. It was Brendan. Brendan Wise. He mentioned that sometimes he feels like the ground contact EVA can create a smoother landing feel than rubber, similar to like what we had on the Hoka Mach 5. I'm actually now questioning who told me this, but somebody. It was not my original thought. And I agree. On the shoe, you get a really smooth feel from what they've done with this ground contact EVA. It's now starting to rain. We might have to do the last 2 somewhere else. Yep, it's coming down. So Balos, it grips great in the rain. I highly recommend this if you want a really soft shoe for daily miles and for walking. Okay, we're gonna have to go up. All right, hold on. Let me do the last two up there.
All right, I think the rain stopped, so we can just pop down there and finish out. Last thing I wanted to say on the Balos, though, before we go back down there for the last two shoes, the durability is questionable for a $200 shoe. I mean, look at this. We're already starting to get some decent wear in the back. But if you want comfort, baby, comfort with a little bit of speed potential, this is the guy. All right, let's do the last two down there.
All right, guys, number 2, we have the Saucony Hurricane. Look at that. We got the right lighting on this guy. Saucony Hurricane 24. And it's like a hurricane today with this rain. You know what I mean? Now, Saucony Hurricane 24. I'm not going to say the Hokacane thing. I'm not going to call it the Hokacane today. It's been upgraded. You know why it's been upgraded? Because this shoe, ever since I brought it into my rotation, this has been what's on my foot when I'm going to get a haircut, going to the grocery store, going to drop off all the dozens of cardboard boxes at the recycling center that I've been piling up, that Charlie just shoves in the back of the Jeep and forces me to take out of the house because she doesn't like the way it looks when she comes into my office, even though there's no reason she needs to be in my office, but she just doesn't like the thought of the trash accumulating. She likes the thought of the Wayfair 2024. You know what? Everyone's all up in my comments talking about you should try the Primex Strong 2. Bro, if you buy some Primex Strong 2 through my Running Warehouse link, then I can probably try it. Otherwise, I'm not going to be dropping $300 of racks on Primex Strong 2. That's an expensive shoe. Talk about Amazon Prime. There, Amazon Prime was scared to come through. He didn't want to mess up the shot. Saucony Hurricane 24, baby. You get the top stack here of Power Run PB, bottom of Power Run. That's the beauty of the shoe. You get two different types of foam, right? So you get the softer layer on the top. The bottom layer is a little bit firmer, creates some stability. It is just so comfortable. And a lot of people have been asking me about why do I like the shoe when I despised the Triumph. Something about this, it's the lower drop. You get a 6mm drop with this beautiful rocker, just makes it so comfortable. And what they've done with this midsole completely takes the pressure off of my feet, and it rivals the Ghost Max. It rivals the Ghost Max for standing, but I have to give it to the Ghost Max for standing still, even though this is elevated above it, because this does have a little bit more of that structured heel. Because it's a stability shoe, it does feel a little bit more restrictive in the back, and it's just bulkier and heavier. But if you want a recovery running shoe, if you're a bigger runner and want a daily trainer, man, the Hurricane has been one of my favorite shoes of the year. This might go in my top 10 favorite shoes of the year. It's definitely one of my top favorite Max Cushion shoes right now. Can do everything except save you from mosquitoes, so don't be expecting that. Only the Super Blast can prevent bug bites. Yeah, great for walking. For running, it's got a beautiful pep to it. One of the runs I took this on was a 12 miles right out of the box, and we were moving and grooving. The downside is for days like today, it's ironic because it's called the Hurricane. More like I'm gonna be in pain 24 when I'm running in the rain because I'm slipping. But grip is not great, even though it looks cool. You got the gum sole on here and you can see the race foam push through, but nice, soft, and bouncy. I took it for that 90-minute, 12-mile run out of the box, and it had some pep to it. It's not just a plodding cruiser. You can run fast if you want to, but it's just a lot of weight, so you're probably not gonna want to. But the foams are great. The upper is comfortable and dialed in. I did feel a little bit of that classic Saucony narrowness in pinching, but other than that, very comfortable shoe. And the midsole here is what's putting it really in that number 2 slot. This is the most comfortable midsole out of any shoe that's been released in 2024. It's the right blend of soft and firm. So that brings us to number 1. And why am I saying this shoe is the most comfortable shoe that's been released in 2024? Well, number 1 was not released in 2024. It is the New Balance 1080 V13. This is still the most comfortable shoe on the market despite everything that I've tested. And that's the thing, the newest, the latest, the greatest, they're not always the best, right? They're not always gonna be what we pull for. This and the Ghost Max and the Invincible, even though they're not the latest shoes, are still great shoes. They're still great shoes. Ghost Max, $120. This is gonna be $120, $130 with the 1080 V14 coming out soon, which by the way, I didn't get. Charlie got it. New Balance said they didn't have my size, but Charlie got the V14. She's been testing it. I can't tell you anything about it. I don't even know if I'm even supposed to say that she got it, but I don't know. It could be coming out tomorrow. It could be coming out February. You don't know. I don't know. I don't know either. But she got it. She's been testing it. I didn't get it, even though I put 300 miles on the shoe. Caden from Supple Track, he didn't get it either because they didn't have our sizes. But V13. This is everything that I love about the More V5, but just a little bit better. It's lighter. It doesn't feel like as much stack. It doesn't have the as narrow of a toe box. The upper is soft all around. You get the padded heel. Man, it's like a grandmother knitted you a blanket and put it on top of your foot. And then the bottom is like a grandmother made you some blueberries with cream. The top is the blueberries. If you need me to expound on the analogy, the bottom is the cream, right? Because the top is blue and the bottom is literally cream color. So this is the blueberries and cream V13. If you want the softest shoe on the market, that will be this guy. I think it might even be softer than the Balos. They're very similar shoes, but this is $35 cheaper, soon to be $60 to $80 cheaper. I'm not sure how low they're gonna go with the pricing on this, but we found it for some time throughout the year at $100 at Dick's Sporting Goods. So you will be able to find deals on this coming up. Very soft, very smooth, not good for fast running at all, but the most comfortable shoe that I have ever tried. You slip your foot into this guy and you just say, It might be too soft for some people out there, so if you don't want the super soft shoe, if you want a little bit more stability, get the Hurricane, which is my second most comfortable shoe. But man, this is, for me, absolutely perfect. It was one of those shoes where, and it's not in my rotation anymore, and especially given that I just test a lot of shoes now, but I got it up to 300 miles, and it was one of those shoes where I could not have a bad run in this shoe. Completely takes off any of that burden. Was great for everything up to 90 minutes. Just so comfortable, nice and smooth, nice and protective, a little bit of bounce. Not the type of bounce where you're gonna run fast, but the type of bounce where plodding along for me at a recovery pace. What the heck? My man just pulled the Pythagorean theorem on my grass. He parked on the street and then C squared across the grass up to the driveway. And now he's running. I don't know. I'm not a get off your lawn, but I'm just, bro, just go straight up the grass. You don't have to Pythagorean theorem. New Balance 1080 V13, it's still the comfort king. This is still the best recovery shoe out there. People ask, should I get the 1080 V13 or the More V5? If you want super soft, get this. It's also a little bit better of a daily option because it's lighter. The More V5 might have a little bit more bounce. It might have a little bit bigger of a rocker. Yeah, that's cool. What do you call the double Pythagorean theorem? You know, geometry was the one math subject that I was, if you want a nice soft cushioned comfort cruiser, that's the 1080 V13. There's still nothing that's knocked it off the perch. The V14 is, it could be coming soon, it could not be coming soon. I wonder if they changed it. I'm not sure, but this is still the one I would get as of now if you want the most comfortable shoe out there. And again, if you don't want soft, that's where these two, or this one, comes into play. So top two shoes. These are my top two comfort picks of 2024. And they're probably not going to get knocked off the perch because we don't have too many new releases coming. I still have to test the Hoka Skyflow. It has not been received yet. So whenever that comes, we'll test it. And I know everyone's curious about the Glycerin Max. That I'm guessing we'll see that debut at the running event. But that is all I have for you today, guys. Please make sure to buy your shoes through my Running Warehouse link. Buy your electrolytes through my Running Warehouse link. We got Europe, we got Australia, thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting Charlie's Wayfair Fall 2024 catalog dreams. I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
All right, one more thing, guys. I know someone's going to be all up in the comments talking about, where's the Nimbus? Where's the Nimbus 26? I haven't tried the Nimbus 26. I know, kind of crazy. This is the Nimbus 25. It's comfortable. The Nimbus is comfortable. I'm sure the Nimbus 26 is comfortable. I tried the Nimbus Mirai, and it was comfortable. I prefer the Nova Blast just as a general running shoe, and maybe if I try the Nimbus 26, it'll make the list. But I have not tried the Nimbus 26. But I thought I would show you the Nimbus just to do my due diligence. This is the Nimbus 25. I'll see you tomorrow.